Hi, and welcome to the Sassy Mares podcast, where we dive into the most controversial topics in the equestrian world.
We give our unfiltered opinions and say the things that others won't.
With 4 hosts from different backgrounds, we bring a mix of perspectives, experiences, and even a few debates.
So saddle up, it's going to be a fun one.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Sassy Mares podcast. I am Amy.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Alex.
And we don't need to catch up.
We're going to do a pre-catch-up.
A pratch-up.
A pratch-up.
Pratch-up with us. And our pratch-up is...
This week coming, we have a very exciting video, which will already be out.
It will be out. Check it out. It's us doing a PT session.
Our first PT session.
And
well, it's my first ever.
Yeah, me too.
It's my first
Oh.
ever.
Yeah.
It's all of our first ever PT sessions.
And I think, we haven't done it yet, but I think it's going to be funny. And it's, you're going to see some red sweaty messes,
We're going to get our asses whipped into shape.
It's going to kill me off.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't think we're unfit, but we're
I
going to be
am.
unfit tomorrow.
Well, I've sat in the house for 6 weeks after having surgery.
Oh, I know, but that's not your fault.
I sit in the house anyway.
Yeah, I work from home, so I sit in the house.
Do you get your 10,000 steps?
Actually, the week past, I've done 20,000.
Oh wow,
So
that's
I
good.
was in the office, just showed you the difference.
Just walking around in circles in the office.
But no, I was out on site fixing
Picking up
things.
people's slime.
Yeah, I was in the office, and there was someone forgot their slime, and they left a ball of slime on the computer. Insert photo here.
That was the worst thing I ever saw, and someone forgot
It was so wet and cold as well.
Did you play with it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's worse. Who touches another man's slime?
Well, you don't leave it there.
You bring slime into the office.
Yeah, was there an 8-year-old there?
Clean the dust off the keyboards.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, that context really helps. I just thought it was like a weirdo.
Well, I didn't know until later in the day, and I figured out, oh, that's what it was for. So I thought it was weird. We just left their slime in the office outside of a container, flopped on the desk, like not even contained slime.
Loose public slime.
Yeah. But yeah, excited for our PT session, and I think that is. Oh, I might be trying to get a lesson with a different instructor.
T. We're getting a PT session with your current instructor.
Yeah, no, just a guy that seems to get like good results, and I want to use him for like confidence building.
Oh, yeah, I know
that's
who you're
good.
on about.
So I'm gonna try this in the weeks to come. So,
I'm also going to get a lesson for the first time in 45 years.
oh my god, you look so good for your age.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Is this
But
with the new instructor or
no, Claire.
Claire?
Yeah.
Nice.
Claire is the best because she just knows when to push and when not.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. And then she shouts at me in moderation. Not enough
Yes,
to
I
annoy
like-
me,
see,
but
that's what I
enough
like.
to like
Yeah.
get on. And
I like instructors like that. They're
Yeah.
really hard to come by too.
Maybe I'll have to get a lesson as well.
yeah, well, you have to.
Yeah.
It's part of the thing.
Alright,
Insert clips of our lessons. No, don't, because the Spotify listeners are just hearing. Well, I don't know why I'm doing that in my lessons. That's me getting on.
Protein.
Yeah.
Alex, upcoming plans for this week? I'm going to see Pitbull too. Sorry, I interrupted you.
You are?
Yeah, Shan started it.
I know.
You guys, you interrupted yourself.
I'm going to see Mr. Worldwide.
What?
It's a 305.
Fireball. I'm excited for you for that song.
Thank you. I'll take a video and send it in.
I'm not excited for you at all.
Oh.
Wow, hater over here. God damn.
Jealousy.
Robin thought I didn't want to go anymore. So
Oh yeah.
I was skiing down a slope thinking the tickets were fine.
I forgot that she didn't. I forgot to get Alex a ticket. She never replied to me.
Oh, you
Because I was
bitch.
skiing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fireball. Anyway,
Yeah.
cancer on over.
Yeah, let's counter the counter controversy.
Which is me not getting Alex tickets for Pitbull.
Yeah, that's this week's episode. Do you agree or disagree? Leave in the comments.
So, this week's episode was actually kindly suggested just by a very nice listener, and it was the topic of loaning horses.
Yeah. This is everyone's dream come true / everyone's nightmare, and it is literally equal.
It's been both for me.
Yeah.
Alex, you're gonna have so much to say.
I think we
you're
should
like our
just take
loaning,
our-
loaning queen right
Take
here.
our mics off and just let Alex go
One
because
man band.
she has all the stories, all the nightmares, all the
Yeah.
dreams.
Well, I mean, I've been loaning for 10 years.
That's crazy.
I've never been in a position that I've been able to buy, like obviously going through school, going through uni, and now
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't, because at this moment in time I don't want to be tied down
Yeah.
to a horse. With like finishing uni, getting jobs, the possibility of like, do you know why everyone goes to Australia now? I don't want to not be
Right.
able.
You leaving the podcast?
No. I don't want to not be able to. Do you know what I mean? No.
Last
you go
episode, Sally left this episode. Alex is moving to Australia.
Here, I
I'm not
applied for
saying
that job.
no.
Girl, no. I'll apply.
You're going to be on your own.
In your
It's going to be a one-man
living room.
podcast.
Yeah, you're going to be in my living room while I'm in America.
I'm a Sassy Mare on my own.
You're going to get like separation anxiety.
I'll have to get new friends and like put them in like your clothes and all, pretend they're used.
And I watch it in my house when I'm in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess if it happens, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've consequently had like 12 horses on loan.
But in 10 years though, that's
That's
actually
not
not that bad.
But a lot of them tend to last for a while.
Yeah.
Like I've had some that have been like several years, and then others that have been like 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's like a real mixture of both. And like, I don't know. Sometimes it's a dream come true, and sometimes it is.
See, I think there's
the
definitely
opposite.
positives in loaning. Like you're getting like the experience of having your own horse, but only like 3 days a week. If you're
Yeah.
doing a
Yeah.
part loan. It bridges that gap from like a riding school to owning, because then you're doing more. Like you're mucking out, which you don't really ever do in a riding school. Like I didn't.
Unless you're
anyway.
like working for them.
Yeah, which
slaving.
is slave labor. And then like turning horses in and out, you're tacking up. Like you do have that sole responsibility for the days that you have them.
Yeah.
But I can see why it would be bad. But I do think it's a good experience if you can find a good.
No, it definitely
Loan.
is.
I
And
think
it's
it's crucial.
I think it's crucial because the jump from going to lessons to then riding on your own is so.
Oh yeah, 'cause you don't have anyone telling you what
You
to
don't
do.
have anyone telling you what to do.
Yeah, so you have to figure it out for yourself.
Like that is a big jump in itself more than anything else, because I
Yeah.
know when I got my first loan, I was like, oh my god,
What do you do?
what do I do?
That's such a weird experience.
Actually,
I never had
I
that. You
hadn't
see,
thought about that.
because you've been in lessons for say a year, 2 years, whatever it is. Some people it's like 8 years.
It was 8 years for like me.
Wow, that was such a good guess on my part. And then you go, you get your own, and it's the first time you've never had a lesson. Like, how do you know what to
That's
do?
crazy actually, think about that.
Yeah, it was like overstimulating to say the least.
See, I didn't go through that
No,
because
when
I just
yeah.
loaned straight away.
When I loaned for the riding school, we rode on our own. Like we didn't always have instructors.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never had that either.
So if you were going without a loan and you were going straight from riding school to owning, that would be crazy overstimulating. That would be
Yeah.
overwhelming. That would be
Scary.
I think
it would be too
unless like it's different if you're coming from a horsey background.
much. Yes, definitely.
Whereas I have come, like my family have no involvement.
Yeah,
My parents have no interest. And
We're
it
all
was
the
just
same,
like me on
actually.
my own.
none
Yeah,
of our
no-
parents are horsey.
No, none.
And then that was so like I was so on my own with it
Mm-hmm.
that it was absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
But like I would have been like, I think I was 14 at the time.
That is so scary.
I was like, what do I even do?
Like the responsibility on a 14-year-old's shoulders is insane.
I know.
Especially when it's just solely on your own.
I know. But I've part loaned for years, and
Mhm.
then this year was the first time I'd had a full loan. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but
Yeah.
I know I can do it now.
Yeah, like you're like bridging that gap closer and closer to buying your own.
I'm not saying I'll never buy my own, because obviously, like 5 years down the line,
Mm-hmm. Your
That'll-
traveling's been and done. Then maybe.
yeah, it'll probably be a different story. And like I've just come out of uni into a graduate job on graduate money. It's not
Mhm.
really.
Yeah, it's not a good salary.
It's not a good enough salary. Like I can afford it, but
Yeah.
like if something went wrong,
So then that's where loaning's good, because it's like, I know when I loaned, it was like a £10 a day thing. I don't know how much it is now, but like £30 like a week is
Mhm.
a lot cheaper than livery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then same aspect, when you compare some liveries for like £50 a week, and you're paying 30 of that.
Yeah.
But that's actually a big difference too. I think it's only 5 or more than half.
The
But
30 usually covers everything though.
yeah,
Whereas when you're paying £50 a week for livery, you also have to get your
Everything
feed, your
else,
shoes,
yeah.
like all the other stuff.
yeah, the hidden costs.
I feel like not having sole responsibility is such a big thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Definitely, like if something goes wrong,
if
you have
something
somebody
goes
to
wrong.
ask.
Exactly.
Like, is this normal? What's going on? Do we need to ring the vet? Whereas if you're going from riding school to having your own, you don't get that. Like,
Like, would you even know the signs of colic?
no.
God knows I didn't coming out of the riding
Oh,
school.
no.
It wasn't until I spent more time on different yards and seeing colic in action that I was able to be like, oh, this is what I need to look out for.
I do think loaning horses though, it's like the people that actually put their horses up for loan, they're almost like they're like invaluable people. Like they're so nice to be able to do that. But then you get
Yeah.
the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get into the controversy part of it.
Yeah.
crazy owners.
Yeah, I had a crazy owner. Like I wanted to change his horse's saddle pad because it was filthy.
Mhm.
Like it was so dirty underneath and it was sweaty and all. And I wasn't allowed to change it. It had to be that saddle pad.
That sounds like autism.
It had to be that saddle pad. I wasn't allowed to change it.
That like if it's
I wasn't even allowed to bring it home washing it. It was just filthy.
so she just wanted him to be in a dirty saddle pad.
Yeah, it was just really, really weird. I remember my mum was like,
There's no
Like-
logic.
my mum was like, well, we'll bring it home, like we'll wash it,
Yeah.
we'll bring it back.
Yeah,
Like we're gonna be back.
yeah.
Like we're not just gonna, like why would I own a horse to steal someone's saddle pad?
That's a lot of effort, and you would pay more in loan
Yeah.
than you would for the saddle pad.
Yeah, it was a weird experience, but they were weird anyway.
Was everything else like that? Like very particular,
Yeah.
very their way.
Really, really odd. Like I mucked out and like he'd pee everywhere. Like his bed was soaking, so I lifted it, and then they were raging that I lifted like so much pee out of his stable. Maybe they deep littered. I don't know. That's never how I keep horses. So I like mucked out a stable as you would do, and they were raging at me because they had to give me Bailey shavings.
They should have told you about the deep litter if they wanted you to do
I
that.
don't even think it was deep litter. I genuinely just think
They didn't lift
the
the
bed wasn't big enough, so the shavings were floating in urine. Like, do you know what I mean?
like a wee boat.
Yeah, it was like he needed his bed. Like he needed more shavings.
Yeah,
Because one, I'd mucked out, and two, there wasn't enough to begin with.
yeah.
Like, it was just weird. It was weird, and like hay nets and stuff, they were so weird about it. It was just a weird situation, but only with that one horse. Because I loaned another one of their horses, and they weren't as weird about it. It was really
That's what makes it weirder.
yeah. It was just an odd, and like when you're so young, you're like,
You meet some odd people, horsey people in general.
are weird.
No offense to listeners, y'all
We
are
are
weird.
horse people. We're
so
weird.
So are they.
True.
They
all
they
weird.
know we're weird. They've been listening to us for a few episodes now.
Yeah.
They get we're weird.
Yeah.
These are also weird.
Yeah, you're weird for listening.
There's
to us.
not a normal equestrian. It doesn't exist.
I think
Well,
you have to be a wee bit loopy to do this, though.
yeah, because it's absolutely insane. Like,
It
oh yeah, I
is.
pay £300 a month for an animal that I keep in a box, and I get on its back and tell it to run.
Literally,
Like-
if it trips, it breaks a leg. Like it's.
Yeah, like it is madness.
I think that's the only. I haven't done a lot of loaning though.
How many loans did you have?
I probably want to forget some, but obviously I did like the loan thing from the riding school,
Mhm.
and then I think I got my own horse, and then I sold that horse, and then I think I got back into loaning, and I think I loaned those two, I think, and then I rode for someone, and then I bought that horse, and then that got me into the buying
Yeah.
for my own. So,
So only like 3 or 4 of them.
yeah, and like one, obviously the riding school one was pretty fair. It was
Yeah.
like a pretty standard thing, like that was used in the school, and then you got to ride it if like if it wasn't
Yeah.
rode to the ground sort of
If
thing.
it still
but,
had some life in it after 10
Yeah,
hours of lessons.
but you were limited like what you could do with them
Yeah.
because of obviously the lessons, and then the other two, it was like a private yard sort of situation. It was just their horses that their kids didn't ride anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't want to sell the horses, but it was a weird experience, but it wasn't a bad experience, is what I would say.
So I don't know if I've had any nightmares.
I've had bad.
I'm
Like,
excited to hear Alex.
I've genuinely had bad.
I don't actually. How many loans have I had? Does Arnie? I didn't loan him. Sure, I didn't. I just rode him. I don't think I paid for him.
So we classify loaning as having like a financial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think you paid for him either.
So
You didn't
that
pay for Timmy.
Are
I
we
did.
classing that as a
You
loan?
paid for Timmy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you just.
Is that what we're classing as a loan?
I would say yeah, loaning is
'Cause loan is-
financial.
yeah.
I
you-
guess I never had Hicks.
No, I
But you
would-
did. You paid for his shoes. Did you not?
No.
I thought you paid for his shoes.
Or maybe. I don't know. It was so long.
No, you definitely did. She put money up before and left it for the fire.
I think that was the only thing because they weren't using them. They didn't really care about his
Yeah.
feet. So
You did his feet.
So I had Timmy, Kaz, Rue.
You had elite horses.
Yeah, I know.
Like they were all schoolmasters. Like
And then I had Bella, and then I've got Elsie, and that was it. 5. So the geldings were absolute kings.
they were like the best ones
You
to learn
couldn't
on.
you couldn't find
They
like,
were gold dust. Like.
literally 3 golden dusts in a row,
Yeah.
and each taught me something different.
Yeah.
And then Bella was not gold dust.
She didn't work out for you, no?
No, and then Elsie back to being gold dust, but she's a
Mhm.
different kind. She's not a schoolmaster.
Mm-hmm.
We have to work together and teach each other things.
But she's
But
she's
those
good,
those
yeah.
boys taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
So
And
I've-
no crazy owners.
crazy owners, no, everything was completely fine. I've never had any problems with any of my horse. Like Buckaroo couldn't have been a better
He's
experience.
Elite. Like
He was elite. Olivia was brilliant. Obviously, I'm
Mhm.
still at that yard. She just let me work away,
mm-hmm.
let me treat him like he was mine. She used to
shows.
yeah, she used to literally say like he's your horse and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have had a better arrangement with him.
Were these all part loans? Because mine were all part loans.
Rue was different, sort of. It was officially a part loan, but was no strict. It wasn't like 3 days a week and that was it. Nobody else really rode him, so I could come up as much as I wanted and treat it like a full loan.
Mhm.
It was like halfway in between, and then obviously Bella was full, and then Elsie's full.
So you
Wait, Elsie was parked for a while. Now she's full.
So you've full loaned in the terms that you're loaning from the owner and you've moved her to a
Mhm.
yard. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you pay for everything then
Yeah,
for her. So she's basically yours minus the passport in your hand.
yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
actually, the other day we were up at your yard, and the owner was like, "Oh, do you not have her book?" I was like, "No, girl, you own her still." But yeah, I've had brilliant experiences. Like Katie as well. She is unbelievable. Like, she's so trusting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't have had any better experiences, to be
You
honest.
got very lucky.
Very like lucky to be lucky
But
4
then
times.
I think on the other hand of it though is the owners got lucky with you.
Oh, stop it.
But you're a good loaner.
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah, I know.
Pay your bills. You don't leave things a mess. You look after the horses. You don't ride them into the ground and then like you don't you ride them
Yeah.
hard and then leave them and go find something else.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, as much as we have bad owners, you definitely get bad loaners.
Yeah.
You get
Absolutely.
horror loaners, have to.
Yeah, people that don't know how to care for them or don't care about caring for them.
Because
like,
they're not theirs.
yeah, people that don't treat them like, or they treat them like machines rather than actual
Yeah.
living being animals.
Yeah,
or...
but then I've got booted off loans for doing that.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So you've probably seen, not saying you're a bad loaner, but you've probably been like, told you were
Yeah.
bad loaner, but you're
have.
not.
There was
false accusations.
It
Yeah.
was a false accusation. There was one that I refused to ride in the arena because it was like knee deep mud,
Mhm.
and the horse already had mud fever, and I took it round the lanes for like over an hour in hand, and they called me lazy.
Girl,
It's less lazy. Like,
That's
even
the
lazy if you
least-
got it. Yeah.
I went out of my way to keep it out of a
yeah,
like muddy arena and make the mud fever worse,
yeah.
but still worked it for an hour.
Yeah, people would just be
Yeah.
like, you can't be horse to ride.
I
Like, you're
got
not
called
doing anything
lazy.
good for that horse.
Or there was one that I didn't jump because it was too fat, and I got replaced for someone that would jump it.
Even though it was still too fat.
Yeah.
Like I've had
Yeah.
had people be horrible to me, and like don't get me wrong, the good people have made up for it. Like the first loan I ever had, they were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd still stop and speak to them in the street. They were like, I had him for over 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't have been a better horse to teach me the ropes. Hicks,
He's good, yeah.
He's iconic.
that was an ideal situation.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
And he was absolutely fabulous, and his owner was fabulous.
Yeah.
And like in a different situation, I would still have him
Mm-hmm.
if I wasn't 16 and couldn't afford to put him anywhere.
Yeah.
I would still have him to this date. And then I've had like other ones, like the ones I've had more recently, have been good.
Yeah.
Like I don't have bad things to say, but then you get the odd people who are just, it's almost like they see the horses as machines.
Yes,
And
and then
because
you're
of-
trying to do right by the horse.
Because of the time I was competitive, but I still wanted to do right by the horse. I was getting labelled as lazy and all sorts. So
It's almost like when you
Tough
are
love.
a writer for people, you have to almost like hide your own morals or something.
yeah, it's like you just have to do what they want
Yeah, you don't
rather
get
than
to
what you
do
want.
things your own way. And that is one of the downsides of loaning. You don't have a say, honestly. Some owners will be like respectful of your opinion and will want to know what do you think. But I do think that's hard to come by because I think owners are like, no, do it my way. And I know if I was loaning my horse out, I'd be like, do it my way. Why would
Yeah.
I want to listen to a 15-year-old kid? What does she know?
Yeah.
But it
yeah.
is different perspectives, and I think you have to, like, owners sort of have to be open-minded and willing to listen to other opinions as to not cause upset and stuff. Like, that sounds silly because some people will just be talking nonsense, but if you have your wits about you, I think it's better to listen to multiple opinions, and when you're a loner sometimes owners just don't want to do that.
But then I think it's different at our age now.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I would have more to say now to an owner of a horse that I was loaning than I would have when I was 15.
Even if you had the same thing to say now, you wouldn't have had the balls then, you do now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel a way about something, I'll let them know. If it's a problem, it's a problem. If it's not,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
exactly. You can just bring it up. Like, by the way, say you thought your horse looked a bit like it wasn't sound, and you just bring it up to the owner. By the way, I don't think it's sound. Some of them will just be like, ugh, whatever, just get on anyways.
Or say, don't come back.
Yeah, and then that's something that you just have to deal with as a loaner because you just don't have that privilege. Like, you're just
it's like the feeling of being chopped and changed
yeah,
as the person wishes. It's like
Very
there's
anxiety driven.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to be at next
Every
year.
week,
No,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's been times where I've just felt used, like genuinely
Yeah.
used. You bring a horse back into work and get it going amazing, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
so
I'll take
tough.
that back now, thanks.
Yeah.
See, that's why I feel like contracts should be more a thing.
Yeah, see, I've never signed a contract.
Yeah,
Really?
and you've
Ever?
learned all those horses.
I
I've- yeah.
had a contract for Kaz and I had a contract for Rue,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. But they were more formal sort of agreements though,
Yeah.
do you know? But
Well, what did they sort of say?
I think I can't really remember Kaz's one, but I think Kaz's one was more about how to care for him and how to do his stable. And because the yard he was at was quite a big yard and stuff, it was just how that yard works and where I can ride and all that sort of stuff. But I think both of them had a month's notice each way. So the owners gave me a month and I gave them a month,
Okay, that's nice.
which was nice. Rue was the same as well. And Rue's was more just about like the same things, like when you can come up to the yard and all that. And there was nothing like, if you wrecked the horse, you had to pay the vet bill. That was in Rue's. He was like, she was like, if something goes wrong when you're riding him, and that's just naturally happened, that's fine, she'll cover it. But if I was to go jump him a meter, he lands and go lame, that's my fault. I shouldn't have done that. I should have knew better. I have to pay the vet bill.
Yeah,
And I think that's
understandable.
pretty fair.
That
and,
is fair enough.
and I never had to because I'm such a good loner.
That's how I feel like contracts, I think, would stop a lot of those issues Alex was describing.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
Instead of just being used to, you're basically just schooling a horse for free there. That's what you were doing.
Yep.
Or sometimes paying to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even
Paying
worse.
for the privilege.
Paying for the privilege of
Yeah.
bringing someone else's horse into work to just get it taken off you. I think
That's
loners also need to sort of have like the confidence to ask, can we put a contract in place? Because some owners might have never done it before, and if you don't feel comfortable, just say to them, like, I feel more confident.
For the contract.
Yeah, I'd rather sign up to this with a contract just to keep us both happy. And if
Something-
I was just going to say, if they don't want to do that, that
Red
may
flag.
be a red flag.
Yeah.
So you need to think twice.
Yeah, it's very smart. Something that I was thinking about there is, okay, we've been on the other side of loaning. Would you ever loan your horse out? Like your current horse? Would you loan them out if you were their owner?
If I had some sort of time constraint or maybe a money issue,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think I could do it. Not now.
You're very particular though.
I am super particular, yeah.
I think you would be like that weird person that wouldn't let you change a saddle pad, but you would be the other way.
I
You'd
am
be
them.
like, do it exactly my way or you're gone.
Come off.
Get out
That's
of here,
been
we're not
there
loaning
the whole
Pepsi to you.
See, I don't think I'd be that harsh because I know when.
I made you sound like cutthroat.
Yeah, I know because if I was in the position to loan a horse like her when I was younger, you wouldn't want to mess that up.
No.
You wouldn't. But then, I don't know if everyone thinks like that, but I feel like I think I'd be quite paranoid about it. Like I'd be so worried. Like, are they over jumping her? Are they jumping her all
Yeah.
the time?
Yeah, because obviously you're not there. That's why you need a loaner, so you don't actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
They could say, oh, like I popped her around a week course of 70s, but they lied. It was a meter and she's exhausted and you're going to do the same thing at the weekend maybe.
Yeah.
And like,
I think the only way I think I would loan her out is if I was stepping back from like competitive riding
yeah,
for something that prevented me from doing that, be it a job,
injury or something.
injuries, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I wasn't being competitive, but I feel if I was loaning her, I would offer the opportunity to compete, but I'd want to be the one that brings them there because I'd want to keep eyes on them.
Yeah.
Not
That's
saying
very fair.
Not saying I want to watch them ride all the time, but I'd like to be able to pop in and make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to go up and watch them ride every now and then, and I feel if they're avoiding that, there's a
Something's
reason.
wrong. Yeah, red
Like I
flag.
should be able to go up and watch them ride.
Yeah.
I should be able to go up and give them a hand. Like I know her best.
Yeah.
I could be able to take, and if they don't want to take that on, I feel like there's a reason for it. Not
Yeah.
going to say I'm overbearing, breathing down the back of their neck when they're knocking out her stable. Like,
You're on the back while they're riding.
yeah, steady. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I could do it, but not now. There would need to be like a reason, not just lack of money. It'd be more so injury or something. And
Yeah.
I still wanted her to be in work.
Yeah. It's
But-
okay, I'll do it for you.
Yes, I was going to say, but I don't think I could like post it on Facebook and be like,
You get a
anyone come
stranger.
ride my horse. It would be word of mouth. It would be like, I broke my leg and I can't ride for a year. Do you know anyone that would school her for me? Or like, do you know anyone that would like keep her in work? Like even just low level pottering about.
I'll happy hacker
But
for
then-
a year for you, don't worry.
like that's what I'm saying, like something like that.
But I found Rue and Kaz
Yeah.
from random posts on Facebook, so they put their good horses out there and they
Yeah.
got a good loaner back. Not to
See, I
toot my own
feel
horn.
I feel like she would need to be of an age. Do you know what I mean? Because they were older horses. slowing down sort of thing. Like they were at that level of lower, whereas she's not. Then I wouldn't want someone to come in and ruin the hard work that I've put in. Whereas if she's at the age where she's like
School mistress,
19,
yeah.
slowing down, she's not ever going to jump any higher than 80.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, a lot can't really go wrong unless you're terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that I couldn't do it now. Only if I was under the circumstance, like I said, of injury or something, but it would be word of mouth.
I find the majority of mine on Facebook as well.
It's crazy.
Elsie was the opposite. I posted on Facebook saying, has anyone got anything? And then Katie answered me and said yes. So it was like the opposite way around.
I actually had word of mouth for Katie.
Yeah.
Well, I messaged Rachel and was like,
Yeah.
hey, in a bit of a bad situation. Do you know anything I can ride?
So apart from that, though, I don't think, do any of us have any really horror stories? I guess Alex's skill in a horse and then getting it taken off you is quite horrific.
That is pretty bad. I feel like we brushed past that and didn't acknowledge how bad that is.
That is pretty
That's so
insane.
heartbreaking though, especially when you're under the false pretense that you're going to be on this horse for a wee while and you let yourself start to like get to know them, start to love them, start to bond with them. And they're like, yoinks. Because it's different if there's a situation where like, look, do you want to ride this for a couple of months? I'm going to take it back when I'm fit and ready. You don't sort of build that connection because you know it's going to go. Like you look after it and you care for it, but you're not like, oh, I love this
No,
horse,
the pretense was that it was going to be long term.
Yeah, so that's when you sort of let yourself, like, it's like opening your heart to it, honestly. It's like the same as a man, you know, if you just think it's FWB, you're not, don't want to say that because you were screaming me. You're not going to, like, put your heart into it, but if you think it's a guy you're going to have a relationship and all of a sudden he cuts you off, that hurts.
It's heartbreaking, yeah.
And, like, I don't think there's like, this sport is ridiculously emotional. You're so, like, you fall in love with these animals, you're so tied to them.
Yeah.
And when you're falling in love with somebody else's animal, it's so difficult and so messy.
Though?
I have
Yeah.
so many times.
I wholeheartedly, literally, I love Elsie to bits. She's just, I don't know, she's just like a wee little angel woman. And Rue,
Cut to the last episode. Cheeky woman.
she is cheeky. She is just so.
That's
And,
what makes her lovable.
she's so annoying. And she does like that stupid thing I was talking about in the last episode where she like just rubs her head in the wheelbarrow. She's so weird.
Yeah.
But she's just so silly and she's so lovable and she's so good and she's so
She is.
patient. Like when I was getting her, she was green. She didn't really have a consistent rider.
Yeah.
And she was really green, and so was I, and she just was patient and just waits for me, and she's just got a good heart. And then Rue, like, love him to bits. Evo, most of all, honestly.
Evo, yeah. He's
Didn't
like,
even sit in his back, and he's the one I love the most out of them all. He was just like, you fall in love with all these other people's animals, and they're just like,
so scared. People
they're like,
do that.
like, why are you
Yeah.
acting like that about my horse? Well, that's if you have a shit owner. If you have good owners, like Sarah used to let me love on Evo and
Yeah.
stuff.
Used to encourage you to do it.
Yeah.
Here, wash his tail, please.
Like, I don't do anything. But yeah, like again, it all just depends on owners. That's really like.
Yeah.
But then, like, I do think it also depends on the loaner.
I don't disagree with you.
I would get jealous, honestly. See if I had like a girl, if I owned Elsie and I was loaning her out, and she was like, I love you so much, like go away, she's mine.
But it's like a 12-year-old. She just put
like, well, she doesn't love you. She loves me.
This poor 12-year-old spend all like their lunch money on wee treats for Elsie, and you're like, Elsie, you're my
Like I know, like you love me still, right? Like eye contact. That's her sideways eyes. No, I actually would. I think I would be too overbearing. I know it's just
yeah.
like. Well,
I think I would be too.
And I used to always say I wouldn't loan one that someone else was loaning because I couldn't do it. But when I did get Elsie, she did have another rider, and it did not bother me in the slightest. I didn't care. In fact, I loved it. She used to jump her.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So, but like, I don't know. I think it's sort of things you don't really realise how you're going to react until it actually happens. Like I say, I'd be jealous, but I probably wouldn't. I'd probably love that she was being loved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that she's being cared for.
If you can find a loaner that has a good heart and just loves the animal and wants to do right by it and have a bit of fun.
So that's why I feel like then potentially younger kids that are sensible would be that person. Because I know all I did was love the wee ponies.
Yeah.
Vets, like, they were groomed more than they were rode.
Yeah.
Like, but then you need to find that type of person.
Yeah, and someone that has good parents.
Yes.
And I also sometimes think non-horsey
What's-
parents can be better.
What's that word? Like active parents.
Yeah,
Actively involved, not
yeah.
just sitting in the car.
Yes,
Actively out there.
Willing to learn parents.
Yes.
because non-horsey parents are going to be more like groom it and look after it and love it. And I think horsey parents are going to get on it.
Yeah, and then I feel non-horsey parents don't push their kids to do too much because they're
Yeah.
just happy to see their kid happy.
As long as you say they're willing to learn, they're willing to know how to muck out and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That can
Yeah.
end up being a really lovely situation if
Yeah.
it's not somebody
I
overbearing.
will loan Pepsi out.
Oh wow, okay. Anybody's looking
anytime
to loan
soon.
a 15-hand show jumper, please contact Robin on 999.
Please, hello PSNI. Hey, I just inquired about Robin's horse. I'm gonna block their number or something. The police are gonna block their number
Pepsi gets arrested. You come up and she's like,
for like identity fraud. She's hobbling onto the back of the police van. She's like, "Mommy, see me, get me out."
yeah. Should we talk about? I think we need to talk about loaner red flags and owner red flags. So what to watch out for? Because people, I feel like, be watching this may loan or maybe looking to loan, things like that. We got you.
So, as an owner, what would you view as a red flag?
What would you, if you're loaning your horse out, what do you need to watch for red flags?
Dismissiveness.
Yeah.
Like people that are dismissive of how you look after your animal, that don't seem to respect your animal or your things. Like, you know, when you come up and things aren't put away properly.
Yeah.
The saddle cover's not put on.
Yes.
Because it's not their stuff. They don't care
Yes.
if their saddle.
Yeah.
But I care if my saddle, I'm the one that's going to have to
You
replace
don't want
that.
dust on it,
I'm
yeah.
going to care if my wheelbarrow is put somewhere and it's going to get, I don't know, a puncture. Do you know, things like that?
Just in a pile of nails.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and then, like, you come up and there's sweat marks on your horse.
Yes.
They're, like, dismissive and they don't care. That's what that comes across to me. It
Yeah.
comes across as, like, lazy almost and, like, a poor
Lazy is
work-
the biggest red flag.
work
Yeah,
ethic
well,
almost.
see,
But horses are
I-
hard work.
Following on from that, a red flag would be like if they only want to ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If their only sole purpose is to ride, like I went up to the
One
yard.
step on that, jump.
Oh,
Yeah.
better.
Like if they can't ride without jumping.
If the only question they want to know is how much your horse, how big it
How
can
big
jump.
can you jump? Gone.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
not loan to
don't-
that person.
No.
Yeah.
My
Like,
horse is more than the jump it has.
absolutely. Like I literally went to the yard for like. Well, I went to that dressage with it.
Yeah, you just
And I got up to the yard an hour and a half early.
you just want to be involved.
I gave Cricket a treat and then went off to the dressage. Like, I didn't even bring her
Did
in.
you not ride her today?
No, the weather was awful.
It was
Oh,
so
I
bad,
true,
the
actually.
weather.
But like, I'm in a position now where like riding isn't the be all and end all for me. Like I just happen to be
Yeah.
there.
No, I was thinking whenever I went to view Roo, I think the first thing I asked was how big can I jump him?
Yeah.
But that might be seen as red flag, but it wasn't.
It
We were
depends if
very
it comes
good.
From,
I say we
Me.
because you trained me.
I think if it comes from like a genuine care though, because he was an older horse, you wanted to know what he could jump, not what I can push him to jump.
Yeah, and I was told 80 centimeter course, a 1 meter fence
Mm-hmm.
at the end of a grid or something, and I never,
No.
ever put it, like I didn't even go 1 centimeter above what I was supposed to,
No.
because that's his limit, and that was it. And
Yeah.
he did.
So
He did it well.
I
What a
can't
good guy.
think of anything
Stick about
else. I think they're mine. Laziness.
Laziness is the biggest one, because if
Yeah.
they can't be bothered to put a saddle cover on, they're not going to be bothered to look after your horse and go the extra mile for it.
And I guess I don't know if this is a red flag, but something I would like them to do is be like, I'm not sure if this is the norm. Photo sent.
Yeah.
Like, is
Yes.
this normal? Like,
Open line of communication
I
is
think that's
very important.
Yeah, like almost like a green flag is you know,
Mhm.
like the willingness to want to learn, the willingness to like communicate. Like I want my loaner to text me. Like I want them to tell me,
Yeah.
like, hey, just that's her in bed, or
Yeah.
talk to me. Especially if you're not there all the time. Like I think it was different with Olivia. 'Cause she lived there.
Yes.
So it's like if I don't live there, I'd like them to talk to me.
Yeah.
I feel like getting photos and videos is so nice in general. Like any ones I've had on loan in the past, like I'm talking like the last 10 years,
Mhm.
I've always sent videos and photos of me riding.
Yeah, and I feel
To
like
the
if you
owner.
don't, are you being sneaky? I don't know. I'm
I
just
don't
trying
know
to
if
be
it's sneaky.
open-minded.
Like I do it to be like, I know you want to see this.
Yeah. Yes, like I'd like to see Pepsi and a little kid having the time of their life, pottering about the school.
Exactly.
It'd be nice, but I can't think of any more red flags as
I
an
have one.
owner. Ooh, owner red flag.
I have an owner red flag. I think if you have somebody coming up to view your horse and you're like, here he is, and they don't go over and you're like, hi, straight
Yeah,
away, if
but
they just stand there.
That's
and-
what I'm saying, the dismissiveness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a red flag, because you're going to meet this pony. If you want this pony or horse to be
Mhm.
yours,
Mhm.
sort of, you need to go and say hello. I think that's rude.
Or like
actually.
if they don't ask any questions, like what's their name?
Yeah.
What have they done in their past life?
Yeah. The less details they want, like, yeah. You have to want to know details. There has to be a want.
Yeah.
There.
Not just a ride.
Yeah.
There's more. You will spend more time on the ground with the horse than you will on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So, and then what about the other
Others.
side?
Flip it.
I have one for that. If the
Moist.
If the owner doesn't ever leave you on your own.
Do you think that's a red flag?
I genuinely do, yeah. If they watch you, your every move.
Oh, that'd be a red flag.
I find it such a red. Kitty's never watched me ride.
No, I would
Yeah.
have to watch someone ride at least. I think if I was known in her, I would be like, for the 2 weeks, like, I want to be here with you. Like, I want to see how you get on with her. Like, I'm not just going to let you go off on this horse on
It's
your
so
own.
much pressure though.
That's
No,
so
I
much
would,
pressure.
no, I couldn't.
Rui and Elsie, both the owners, watched me for 5-10 minutes and then left and let
No.
me get on with myself.
Yeah,
by
that's
myself.
fine, but I'm not just going to let you on her and then disappear and never see you again.
Yeah.
Like, I want to drop in.
No.
I want to, if you're coming up on a Wednesday, I'll come up and I'll knock out and I'll let you ride and I'll ask how you got on after.
No, that's fine. But it's the standing.
Like standing in the arena the
watching.
entire time.
Like,
No, I feel like I'd be there chatting to their mum.
there's that. I get that though. Like, I do get that.
Yeah.
But like, even in loans I've had in the past, like even if the owner has been there, like I had one that she had another horse at the yard, so she was there pretty much every night I was there, but she'd never stand and watch me, like the whole time.
Tim knows it. I stand watch people ride all the time.
She'd like be mucking out at the side of the arena and like have a glance to make sure I was okay, but she
Yeah.
wouldn't stand and watch me.
Yeah, because I think when you are loaning your horse out, you need to have a level of trust. You just
You
have
do,
to.
yeah.
And if you don't have it, don't do it. It's going to be unhappy for everybody involved. You're going to be nervous and overburdened. They're going to feel intimidated, and
Yeah.
it's just not going to work out for everybody. And the only body that's going to suffer there is the horse.
Horse.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else then.
For
As
loaner,
A loaner. What is a red flag to look out for? So you're thinking overbearing owners is a red
overbearing
flag?
Yeah.
yards that are, I don't know, like.
Well, then you can't do anything about the yard.
But if you're not, I suppose.
I was on the yard that charged me for a lesson or to hire the arena because I was loaning.
No, that's a red flag.
That is
I was
weird.
already paying for the horse.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to ride in the arena
That's
unless
so
I either
random.
A, got a lesson, because it was a riding school as well, or B, paid to hire the arena.
That's
so
ridiculous.
weird. Like, you're still there.
And I had that horse, that's like the first one I had, and I was at that yard for 2 months and then I left, and it absolutely broke my heart.
Because their owner would be paying livery.
Yeah.
Livery.
So
That would cover the use of the arena.
yeah,
But that's, they,
only for them.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
so that absolutely broke my heart, like, and that's a red flag to me. I'd never go back to a situation like that. It was awful.
I feel like if you're part loaning and the owner keeps trying to pile more onto you, potentially.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's like you want to help and you want to, you know, you're there to ride their horse and stuff and you want to help, but I feel like if you're part owning and then you end up doing 5 other horses,
Yeah.
like stuff like that,
Yeah.
potentially, 'cause then you're it is child labour.
And don't be afraid to say no for those kind of things. And if the owner reacts badly to that, being told no, like
Maybe
if,
it's
if,
not for you.
if you're
Yeah.
if you're loaning a horse and it's like, can you walk out the one beside it? Like now and again, yeah, to help out, of course. But if it's every day and you're sort of being made to do chores that you're not supposed to be,
Yeah.
and you're paying to be there, just say no if you don't want to do it. And if they don't
So-
like it,
All of these issues could be solved with a contract.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that's what we're getting to.
Yeah.
And again, going back on myself, I don't think I could loan her out. Not now.
but what with a really good contract?
Yeah. I just think I'm funny. I think I'm just too particular. Thanks. I just think I'm too particular. That's what I've been thinking. I've been deep in thought over here while you've been talking.
You've also been talking.
I've been deep in thought though. Like, could I? Couldn't I?
I feel like there's loads of owner red flags, but they're not coming to my forefront of my brain.
Well, any
Yeah.
listeners that have some, we'd love to hear them. Like, drop them in the comments, or you know,
Yeah.
if we've put any wee TikToks up, feel free to reply with a video, and you know, we'll come and check them out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that lead us on to the before we hit the. No,
I don't
'cause
feel
we haven't got a pro.
We won't have a pro for this because I feel like the pros are the listeners.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
listeners are our pros, people that have done this. Like, you don't get a pro. Our pro is right here.
yeah, it's
This is our
Alex.
pro in loaning. But like,
She's like the bad side and I'm the good side, but we're both good loners. I've
Yeah.
had only good experience. Well, I mean,
I've had a mixed bag.
they get one sold from other me, but sure.
but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, our listeners are definitely
Yeah.
pros.
And then that will lead us on to listeners take the reins in, because
Mhm.
here are some voice notes. Insert. This is you guys telling us your horror stories about loaning.
Or maybe good stories.
Yeah, we'll hear them. No, I think
I want the horror stories. I want the juicy stuff.
sprinkle in a good one.
Okay, you can edit it.
Okay, I'll sprinkle in a good one.
So insert listeners here.
So, welcome to the listeners take the reins section of the podcast. So, we had a post up on our TikTok, and people have DM'd us their loaning stories. So, I am just going to read these out now. So, this first DM came from a follower of ours who would like to remain anonymous. So, we're just going to refer to them as Jay. And Jay has said, "Hi, I loaned a mare when I was 13 years old, nearly 14, and went to view her. I rode her and she napped and she was like a coiled spring. She was extremely unfit after being a brood mare. The owner's daughter had stopped riding her due to losing confidence. I then decided I could sort this pony out. It wouldn't be caught for hours on end. It would bolt, nap, spook, buck, and then she would bolt home. Rode her consistently for nearly a year and she changed into a beautiful, fit and lovely mare to ride, to the point I rode her out on my own, galloped and even started jumping, which was fab. We really got this bond, and then they threw it upon me that they were going to sell her. So I spoke to my parents and decided that we would buy her, as I worked hard with her and completely changed her in every single way. Would even trot up to me in the field to be caught. I then spoke to a lady who was visiting the yard about how excited I was on buying the mare, and the lady rudely said to me that she was worth much more than that. And then the next thing I know, I get a message from the owner saying they wanted more money for her. I was absolutely devastated and it completely broke my heart. That was my first experience of how horrible the horse world is and how you should think twice about loaning. So our second story about loaning comes from Megan. Megan said, "I was loaning 2 horses about 5 years ago. One was a 2-year-old Connie and the other was a 12-year-old fell pony. So I was loaning them, I was taking care of them, and then one day I had a fight with the owner's daughter, and then because of this they came in the middle of the night when nobody was about and took them and then sent me a message saying, 'Sorry, because of the falling out with our daughter, we have taken the horses back.'" And our last story about loaning that we have comes from Scarlett. And Scarlett has said, "I used to loan a pony called Laddie. He was ideal for me at the time, being my first proper loan. He was small but big enough for me to ride. Our first ride was amazing, although he refused to move sometimes. I then started to loan him and everything was going great. He had another loaner who would do almost every day, who loaned him for over a year. I knew I would only have Laddie for about a year, but that soon got cut to a couple of months. My friend came up to meet Laddie and everything was fine until he spooked and he was bolting around the arena. Finally he came to a stop at the fence and I thought he had fully stopped, so I took my feet out of the stirrups ready to dismount, but he then took off again. I fell off when he took a really sharp turn, but I was fine, so I decided to get back on. Later that week we found out Laddie's other loaner was only doing a Sunday. This meant I would do him a Saturday, she would do him a Sunday, and then I would do him on the Monday. Laddie would always be perfect on the Monday, but Saturdays was the issue. The week after, I decided to take Laddie on a hack with my friend to see if he was having issues in the arena. He then spoke to the log as I was trying to canter him and I came off once again. I didn't ride him for a few weeks after that and I just lunged him. That sadly didn't work out, and when I next rode him in the arena he bolted off again. At that point my mum was done. She didn't want it for me to keep getting hurt and it was starting to affect my confidence. We gave out the month's notice to stop loaning and just lunged him for the next month. I did get on him once or twice, but I only ever just walked him around. I am thankful for Laddie, though, as the horse that was at that yard, Isabel, I bought and is now my first horse who I've had for nearly 2 years. Laddie got sold to a new home where he would have better turnout.
Pony game time. Are these on?
Yeah.
Pony game. Hell yeah. Okay, we're gonna forget that by next week. So I have got 3 horses / ponies described here. You have to tell me, would you loan them? Yes or no? I'll maybe let you only pick one. No? What way should I do it? No, just yes or no.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, first one. 13-2 coloured mare. Very
This is
willing.
Cookie.
Very willing. Can jump courses of 70 to 80. Sometimes bucks when excited. Would you loan it?
Yeah, I did.
No.
I bought it.
How would you not loan it? Too
It's
tiny.
13
Small
too.
for her.
I'm nearly 6 foot
Yeah.
tall.
She ride pots. She's under 14 hands.
Yeah, but she's like,
Yeah, true. Okay.
I would, because I'd buy her. I did buy her, and I'd buy her again.
Okay, I agree. I would loan her.
She was so cute.
So cute.
She had like little dots on her nose, and they were so like,
Yeah,
she was so cute.
she was a cookie. She
was a
just was
cookie.
a cookie.
She was
Cookie through and through.
I never met Cookie.
oh, cutie patootie.
I only met really dark grey Pepsi.
Okay, next one is a 15-2 Mare Cob. Sturdy, forward, potential to jump high with a confident rider, very wobbly, green and bulgy.
Is this Bella?
Yeah.
I'm so good at this.
You are good at this.
I'd probably say yeah.
I would, yeah.
I feel like you would have a field day with her.
Probably.
You
yeah.
would really enjoy her. I didn't have the balls for her.
Yeah.
She
I feel
broke-
like I
she
have
broke my
one
balls.
extreme or the other. It's like something something like older and a schoolmaster, or like
Baby.
Yeah.
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
You went
But
from
that's usually what's offered for loan.
Yeah, it is.
They're the ones that are out there.
It's
Yeah.
the ones that haven't done anything yet,
Because they want you to school them for free.
or the ones that are like been there, done that, and they don't have time for them anymore.
But I've had good with both. Like I've
Yeah.
had the green and I've had the experienced.
Yeah.
And I just
Me too.
thought it was time for a nice change.
Okay, next. 16-2, Chestnut Mare. Very experienced, can event, can be Moorish and can refuse, and needs a strong rider.
Guess that horse.
After loaning in the past,
You did love that horse.
I honestly probably wouldn't do it again.
I don't think too big for me, and I don't like a horse that stops. Like
Yeah.
that horse
I
stop wasn't for me.
I don't regret it,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't do it again.
See, it's too big for me. I'm a
Good
pony squasher.
Yeah, yeah. me
I
too.
actually think at this moment in time it's probably too big for me as well.
Yeah.
You pony
I've-
squashing phase right now?
Not necessarily pony squashing, but I think I'm content around like the 15 hand mark.
I'm overgrown pony squashing.
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah.
undergrown pony squashing. I'm squashing them all.
Yeah.
The smaller the better.
I
Shallow
have
next.
I have been pony squashing because I've been riding pots,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like I think I'm just
Good time.
content riding.
Yeah, smaller horses.
Little cute babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, cute babies.
I agree.
So, what did our listeners think? We're gonna put this up on our Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, we've got 2 listeners this
We do,
episode.
we have lots of listeners, yeah.
Exclusive.
So we'll put them up on our Instagram, and we would love to hear who you would loan out of those 2 horses and your reasons why.
yeah. Is that everything,
I
guys?
think that's us.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you for loaning this episode.
What?
They borrowed it for a short time now. They're never going to listen to it again unless it was really funny.
You should listen to it twice.
Yeah, just like we did listeners take the brains twice. We did that for you. What are you going to do for us?
You want to share it with your friends? You want to like, subscribe? You're going to rate the Spotify?
Head over to the Sassy Mares. No, we'll do the proper outro. I've been Amy. You can find me on @AmyCopa on TikTok.
I've been Alex. You can find me at ab.eq on TikTok and Instagram.
And I have been Robin. You can find me at Robin Hartley on TikTok and RHShowjumping on Instagram.
And you can find the podcast on the Sassy Mares podcast on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.
But you already know that.
You're already there.
Hell yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Pony game.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Comment and rate and share with your friends.